Tēnā tātou e kare, no mai hara mai ki after bedtime yoga. Welcome to your after bedtime yoga practice. As always, please consult with a medical professional before partaking in any of the after bedtime yoga classes. For your practice, you will need a pillow and 2 blankets. This is class 4 of our Starting Anew series. Our first class, we worked into releasing, to create space, to clear out all of the weeds. Our next class, we worked on dropping back into ourself, this real groundedness of who we are and where we are at in this moment. Class 3 was taking the first step and beginning to move into that motion again. This evening's class, to round out the 4-week series, is all about moving with abundance, dropping into abundance. So it's this resting in the fullness of your heart space. And I think abundance and gratitude go hand in hand. We always have to have this gratitude and trust of where we are at to know and trust that the abundance is going to flow. So we are going to get started by moving into our pranayama, our breathwork for the evening. We are going to take a pillow underneath our head as we recline. We then have 2 blankets. We are going to roll them both up. One of them is going to be a support underneath the knees. The other one is going to create a shelf underneath the upper back to find this mini back bend, this openness through the heart space. So if you do recline and feel like it is too much for the back, instead of rolling the blanket, just take it into a few folds so the extension through that upper back isn't as pronounced. So just beginning to move there now to roll up your blankets. One for under the knees. And one for under the upper back. And you can see I've done quite a steep roll, quite a large roll, and I might need to change that. And that's okay. If you come into it and need to change, you can always adjust. I don't quite have the space here to extend out long, so I'm going to bring my legs into butterfly. If you do have the space to move lengthways, come into that and extend the legs long with the blanket underneath the knees. Adjust the pillow underneath the head. Hands might fall onto the puku, maybe the elbows or the upper arms also rest onto your blanket. If you want a little more spaciousness, bring your arms to cactus arms, bending them with the back of the hands resting into earth. And start here by finding the breath. Finding this lift and openness through the ribcage. Maybe a few sighs out. Maybe a yawn as you settle. But most importantly, give yourself the time to drop in. To notice how the body is feeling in this moment. To notice where the mind is. Maybe it's been a busy day. Allow yourself, just like we did in the first class, to release a little before we move into this class. Notice the things that are floating around in the mind. Acknowledge them. But then mentally put them outside your room, knowing that you can pick them up again after the class is done. As you are settling and moving into your own sacred space, I will begin here with karakia. Nei te ni, nei te nā, nei te aro ki te hao te tangata, aratakina te ara ki runga, ki raro, ki roto, ki waho, haumie, huie, taiki. Here we are to focus on our own inner light, and may that guide us in our practice. Begin to deepen the breath all the way down into your puku, into your belly. Feel the belly button rise with an inhale, and then fall back to ground with an exhale. And move through that to begin. Nothing more, nothing less. Simply this abundance of breath in your body in this moment. Starting to build the little trust muscle within yourself, that being here is enough. This moment is exactly where you are meant to be. And having gratitude for where you have been, where you are in this moment, and where your path will take you moving forward. Beginning to move into a P-Sigh. Inhale through the nose, filling all the way up to the top of the breath. Pause, and then can you fill up a little more? Sip in a little more air through the nose. Open the mouth, audible sigh out. Again, inhale through the nose. Pause when you feel like you're at the top of the breath. And then can you invite a little more air in, a little more? Open the mouth, sigh it out. Keep moving through that, filling up completely. And then filling even more. And then letting it all go, softening back down. Feel the back of the ribcage that is resting into the blanket. Really press a little deeper into the blanket, finding a little more lift, a little more filling through the chest cavity when you suck in that last piece of air. 2 more breaths just like that. Kia rua anō ngā hao. Whakamāritia toha. Feel your breath return to its natural fluid and flowing state. In and out. Gently closing off the legs if they are in your reclined butterfly. Rolling all the way over onto your side. Pulling the blanket out from underneath the rib cage. And then laying on that side, drawing the knees up. Let the upper back round. The chest closes off from what we have just been through. Right here, before we go any further, dropping into gratitude. Choose one thing in your body in this moment that you are grateful for. It might be the breath. It might be having 2 able legs. You might love your fingernails. So just choosing one thing here. And then choosing one thing you're grateful for in your temperament. Maybe it's your kindness, your compassion, your ability to connect with others. You might be strong-willed and determined. Choose one of the qualities that you have that you are grateful for. And finally, choosing one thing about your wairua, your essence, your spirit. Something that makes you who you are, unique and special. Have gratitude for that in this moment. Take a big breath in. Open the mouth, side out, let it go. And gently, blinking open the eyes, slowly bring yourself up into a seated position. You can pop your blankets and your pillow off to the side. We'll use them again shortly. Finding yourself in your comfortable seat. If you do need to find a little bit of elevation in your seat, you can use your pillow, your blankets underneath your bottom, or move to a chair or a couch or the side of your bed if it feels uncomfortable for you to be seated on the ground with space behind your back. Bring the hands gently onto the knees. As you inhale, rock the pelvis forward onto the sit bones, belly button tips forward, chest moves through the gateway of the shoulders, lift the chin. Exhale, round through the spine, rock back on the sit bones, tuck the chin down. Beautiful, and keep moving through that with breath. Inhale, rocking forward, lifted, open through the front body. Exhale, rounding down, closing off the front body, opening through the upper back. Moving with your rhythm and your breath. No rush here at all. Nowhere else to be. Nothing else to do. Abundance of time in this moment. And then gently make your way all the way back to an upright seat, bringing your left fingertips down to the ground or down to a pillow if the ground is a little far away. Right arm reaches up as you inhale. Exhale, side bending across to the left. Keep grounding down through your opposite sit bone. Feel like there's a beach ball underneath the left hand side of the body, and we're lifting up and over the beach ball that will open through the lateral side of the body and through the rib cage. Breathe in nice and deeply here. Gently bringing that hand down and switching sides. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, side bend across. Good. Again, that beach ball under the side of the body, this lifting up and then over, grounding through the opposite sit bone. And then gently coming back down. We flow through that now with breath. Inhale, up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, back up. Exhale, hand lands down to earth. Maybe you're rolling out the wrists with you as you go, adding any other movements. Breath in to reach. Breath out to bend. Inhale up. Exhale down. Beautiful. Take 2 more each side. Finding the soft mobility in through the spine, in through the rib cage. Trusting your body, trusting your breath. This time, right arm lifts up, side bending across, elbow bends, catch in behind the back of the head, and then adding a little twist, a little rotation. Elbow begins to drop down, trying to reach towards your opposite elbow. Don't worry, it won't get there, or maybe it might if you have really, really extreme mobility. Good, and then open it back up. It's just something to move towards a general direction. Close the elbow down, finding the space, the spreading through the upper back, and then lifting back up. Last one. And hand lands down, switching sides, left arm up, side bend across, bend the elbow, catch in behind the head. Elbow begins to travel down in the general direction of your opposite elbow. Keep a nice firm press into earth with the right hand, so we're finding the rotation, this beautiful sensation. through the back of the rib cage, between the shoulder blades. Open the elbow back up to the ceiling. And then gently closing it back down. Nice deep breaths. Maybe letting out a sigh. Last one, opening up. And then gently closing down. Releasing all the way back up. And then hands land down. Our last little bit of mobility through the back and the chest. Bring the elbows and the hands to touch in front of you, or if that feels a lot, just hover them towards each other. Take a nice big breath in. Full breath out. As you inhale, feel the arms peel open and away from each other. Puff the chest through this lift of the rib cage. Lift the chin. Exhale. Round through the upper back. Tuck the chin down, but keep the elbows high. Keep the hands high as they come back to touch. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Good. And just flow through that with your breath. Really fluid. No right or wrong. Just here in the flow of energy. In the flow of this moment. I te watu. Allowing yourself to receive energy, to receive rest, and to be open to calling in and receiving abundance. One more, fully in. Exhale, let the hands fall all the way back down to the legs. A nice little roll through the shoulders. Maybe a roll out through the head and neck. And returning all the way to center, we are going to make our way to lay down on our side on the ground, and we will be using a pillow and a blanket. So you can move your other blanket just off to the side for now, somewhere out of the way but within reach. We will start on our right side, so swinging the legs around, rolling your blanket if it's come undone back into that nice long cylinder. Perfect. And then from here we're going to lay down on our sides. So this blanket can be adjusted. If you want more intensity, shorten the blanket, make it a little fatter and make the roll bigger. Less intensity, open the blanket out, roll it longer so there's less weight concentrated in one space. We're going to lay down onto the blanket. It's going to be under the rib cage, so the nice bony part of the rib cage. And then the head is going to lay down all the way to your pillow. If the pillow feels a little low, you can fold it in half. You can add your other blanket on top. Good. Your underside arm reaching forward, knees bent, and then reaching your top arm forward as well. If that isn't a good option for you today, bending the arm, resting the hand onto the blanket or onto the opposite bicep like I'm doing here. This feels really comfortable for my body today. Then settle in. Heaviness in this walrus posture. We will be here for a few minutes. So adjust now as you need to. Maybe it's a few little wiggles of the fingers, the wrists. Maybe it's adjusting slightly where the pillow is. Sometimes pulling it a little deeper right up through that neck crease, across the bottom shoulder, can make all the difference. Can you lay heavy on the blanket? The breath is deep. As you breathe, feel the bottom of the ribcage gently pressing into the blanket. This gentle pressure. Equally, feel the top side of the ribcage, the top side of the chest, the heart space area, lift, expand and open. Again, remind yourself, remind your nervous system that there is nothing else to do here in this moment, that you are not here waiting for the next thing or waiting to move. You are simply here because you choose to be in this moment. You choose to be with your breath in your body. And this right here is the end goal. You're not waiting or moving towards anything else. This moment here is it. If you would like a little more sensation and have the space, you can straighten out the top leg, the left leg, long. You can reach the top arm long overhead, or you can take the top leg, keeping it bent, pushing the foot and knee backwards, and then landing down. So we're finding this gentle opening through the hip now as well. Breathe fully like we did at the beginning of practice. Let yourself fill up, taking it all in, open to receiving, and equally open to releasing, to letting go, to moving with the natural flow and cycle. About 5 more breaths here. Don't speed them up. Just let them continue to be long and flowing. very slowly, if you had moved the top leg, the top arm, bring them back to starting position. Take one collective breath, sighing it out. And then all you are going to do is roll over onto your other side. You can roll onto your puku first and then across. You can roll through your back and then across. I am going to lift myself up and switch directions so you aren't looking at my back and my bottom and the other side. Setting yourself up, adjusting the blanket as well if you need to. One side of the body might feel a little more expansive than the other, and that is okay. If you need to change the roll on the blanket, to change the height, the intensity, give yourself permission to do so. We need to recognize where we are at in the moment, because only once we recognize that place, we can begin to call in what we are ready for, abundance and flow. And adjusting the cushion, again, you might find it feels nice to tuck it right in through the neck crease, and the corner of the pillow rests across that bottom shoulder. Your top arm, maybe the hands are meeting, or bending the elbow to rest on the blanket or on your opposite arm. Knees are bent, hips are heavy. Space for you once again to drop in. To find yourself deeper in your own world. This withdrawal of the senses is a practice in yoga. So close the eyes down. Instead of looking outwards, turn your gaze inwards to self. Te tiro ki roto i a koe. Bottom ribcage is heavy, gently pressing into your blanket as you inhale. And finding the softness, this melting over the blanket as you exhale. Top of the ribcage lifts up as you inhale. And falls and softens down as you exhale. Soften the jaw. Soften the forehead. Let yourself sink into a deeper state of relaxation. If your body is asking you, inviting you into a deeper sensation, you might begin to straighten the top leg, or keeping it bent, begin to push the foot and the knee a little further back behind you. Maybe this top arm reaches long above the head, fingertips finding the ground. Maybe you're like me and your adjustment is one of softness. I like to bring my top arm hand gently between my face and the pillow. That feels soothing for me. When I do that, my nervous system always lets out a big exhale. It's like that downward piece of the journey. The softening, the melting, and the settling into what is. Only a few more breaths here. Breathe new space into your body. Each breath a chance for new opportunities to make their way in. If your legs or your top arm moved, gently bringing them back to starting position. Taking a big breath in, opening the mouth, letting it go. And very slowly, using the hands to assist you, pressing yourself all the way up. Moving like you're moving through honey, energy stays nice and quiet. And then we will begin to set up for the last restorative posture here. We will keep the pillow underneath where the head is going to go. If you would like more sensation through the front of the throat to open it, you are more than welcome to remove your pillow. We're taking the same cylinder that we've been using with the blankets, and this time we're making like a letter T with the pillow and the blanket and behind us. And then we turn away from the letter T, bring the back of your pelvis all the way up to the blanket, and we are going to recline ourselves down. So we'll bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet onto earth, and then gently reclining back. The pillow feels like a little bit too much for me today, So I'm going to remove it. Moving my hair out of the way, you might need to do the same. And resting yourself all the way back. Gently lift up the chest, drive the elbows into the ground, and wiggle the shoulder blades a little closer together underneath you. And then land yourself back on your blanket. Hands land on the puku to begin, just feeling into your breath, making any adjustments that you need. Maybe it's like what I just did, pressing into the feet to lift the hips up and then set them back down, which feels so much better. They didn't quite feel right for me when I reclined down at first. So be open to those little changes, those little adjustments you might need to make in your body. Make sure your bottom is on the ground, and then it's the blanket coming into the small of your back, the back of the pelvis, and long up your spine. Take a few breaths to notice how it feels. Can you settle here? If the answer is no, and there needs to be a physical change, make that. If the answer is no, because the mind is being a monkey mind, that chitta-vritti is just jumping around in there, can you bring your awareness to your breath? Me aro ki toa ki ha, and focus on that. Thinking, inhale as you breathe in, and exhale as you breathe out. Find that rhythm, the expansion, the openness, and then the contraction and closing off. If your body is asking for the arms to move, you can either extend the arms out nice and long, or come back to the cactus arms, the angel arms that we have been in already during this practice. Make sure if you're coming to this variation that the elbows and the backs of the hands are both touching the ground. If they aren't quite there, you might want to take a pillow underneath each of the arms to bring the ground up to meet you. And sometimes that's what abundance is. It's not expecting you, your body, your mind to have to meet everything else, everyone else where they are at. It is that acceptance of where you are at, and that being okay, that being enough, and that trust and gratitude in enoughness is abundance, and then invites even more into flow. Deep breaths here, in and out. Three clearing breaths here, filling all the way up and through the nose. Open the mouth, let it go. Breathe in. Breath out. Ha ki roto. Ha ki waho. Bringing the arms back down if you lifted them up into the cactus. Roll over onto your side, off your blanket. Tuck the shin down, round through the upper back, close the chest off, and give yourself a little moment here to breathe. Me whai ha, nothing more, nothing less, but everything in this moment. Taking as long as you need, but when you are ready, moving towards your final resting posture in today's practice, your Savasana. And as always, you may want to take that in your bed. You may have already been taking this entire practice in your bed and you're just simply pulling up the covers and snuggling down and in while we move into a deeper relaxed state. Make your way now to where you are going to go. When you arrive to the place you are going to take your Savasana, take a few little wiggles out, fingers and toes. Maybe a gentle tilt side to side of the pelvis. Take a big yawn, opening the mouth wide, and then letting it go. Eyes closed down. Let them be heavy into your head. Tongue is heavy into the back of your mouth. Feel the groundedness in this moment from the support coming from your bed or from earth beneath you. Can you give your weight over, letting go, being heavy, so you can find this juxtaposition of lightness, lightness in your being, lightness in your wairua, lightness flowing through and from you. Feel the breath flowing, not forced. Kia ngāwari, gently in and gently out. These little whispers of air pulling in through the nose and releasing through the nose. Let your awareness move from the crown of the head all the way to the toes, like a wave, a ripple, and as that wave touches each of your body parts, let those body parts completely dissolve any tension you are still holding on to. Feel that wave moving down the body now, from the crown of the head, down through the face, the neck, down the shoulders and arms, torso, front and back, hips, down the legs, all the way to your toes. This wave washing away any tension, any stresses, nothing but softness and peace in this moment of calm. In your mind's eye, ki toa ke whatu manawa, imagine yourself laying down in a meadow, bathed in golden light. Around you, everything is in bloom. Not striving, simply existing in their own fullness. Feel yourself part of that same rhythm of the meadow, radiant, grounded, and completely magnetic in your own bloom. Knowing that abundance does not come from outside of you, but from the trust and gratitude that is already within you. Finishing this practice the same way we began. Take a moment of gratitude. Label in your mind all of those things in this very moment that you are grateful for. It doesn't matter how big or how small. Label them in your mind. As you fill with gratitude, the meadow becomes lighter, feels even more in bloom, as you are in your own authentic light. And this is where I leave you. Mai tōku manawa ki tō manawa. From my heart all the way to yours. E tāne ka whakairihia. Haumie, huie, taiki. Thank you for allowing me to share your sacred space with you. Kia o te moi. Have a beautiful, restful, abundant sleep. Namaste.